friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adele if you are new, and today I'm going to be sharing how I organize my scenes in a scene outline. I have been using a scene outline throughout my whole process of writing my first draft. It's helped me so very much. I'm a huge planner. I really like to plot and plan everything. So I created this scene outline in October of last year, right before NaNoWriMo, so I could have it going in and being organized with my scenes and know where everything is. It helped me so very much, so I'm hoping that it'll help some of you today in planning your scenes in your whole novel. My scene outline that I'm going to show you, I kind of just made it up. It was back in October, right before NaNoWriMo, when I was trying to figure out a way to plan my book and plan individual scenes and chapters and stuff like that, so I knew what I was writing each scene, each chapter. I knew where the book was going, and I was looking stuff up, trying to see if there was already a process that outlined it very well, and I couldn't really find anything that fit my style and kind of what I wanted, so I just kind of made one up. So the scene outline I'm going to show you is completely made up for my own benefit. I don't know, I hope it helps some of you. You can tweak it as you see fit, but this is how it works for me. Also, what I'm going to be showing is my current scene outline for my current novel, my first draft, and I have not touched it or edited it since I finished my first draft, so it may be a little unorganized and all over the place. I have not touched it. It'll be my raw, genuine, authentic scene outline that I've been using. Also, I'm not going to show too much of it, like I'm not going to go down all the way for my whole book because I don't want to give things away, but I will be showing you kind of like the beginning because one, I don't really mind showing beginning stuff because it doesn't really affect the plot in any way, and two, I'm about to start rewriting my first draft and revisions and stuff like that, so most things are probably going to change. So without further ado, I am going to show you guys my scene outline and how I organize my scenes. Hi, hello, I have my camera set up right in front of my computer, so it's going to be very real-time talking. So this is my scene outline. I organize everything in Google Docs, which I'm also going to be doing a video about pretty soon. So this is what it looks like, just kind of a general overview. I'm not going to go too far down, or I will, but I'm going to be very fast. So I have the scene number on this side. So in my current first draft, I have 83 scenes. And things have changed as I've written this. So this column is the chapter. So this says that my original, like when I was planning this out, it was supposed to have 38 chapters, but I believe it only has like 35. So in this column, I have the scenes, and then right here I have the chapter number. In this column, I have who is in the scene, all the characters that are in this scene. In this column, I have where the scene takes place. You can be as specific or as vague as you'd like. This one says city streets of downtown Nuvox, and then this one just says an expanse of forest. So you could really do it just however you would like to do it. In this column, we have what happens in the scene. So I just write a few sentences of what exactly happens in the scene, what the characters are doing. So this is the very first scene in my book. It's really basic. It's the opening scene. It just says Orion and Jens find a body killed by Maxis. They go to meet up with Luca, who informs them of the protests. They decide to go to the slums to intercept the next hit. So it can be as short or as long as you want. I know they get, see right here, they get a lot longer as I get more information, or it's a longer scene, something like that. In this column right here, I have the goal of the scene. So I have two ways of doing this. I could either have the goal of the characters in the scene, like the goal in that scene in the book, or my goal as an author, as a writer, of what I want to portray in this scene. So like in this one, it's what I want to portray in the scene. So hint at feud with Maxis, introduce Orion, Jens, and Luca, establish setting and current situation, hint at Caius Watchers and overall attitudes toward the current regime with the protests. So that's what I'm trying to do and portray as the writer that I hope the reader can get. Whereas here in this scene, I wrote the characters' goals of what they want to do in the scene. So I just wrote they need to get the cloaking device. That's their goal, that's the only motivation that they are trying to do in this scene. Here's some more examples of some writing goals. So this one is show Orion's doubt about helping them. That is what I'm trying to portray as the writer in this scene. Or here, show Orion's distrust. Or here's another character goal. They must escape Carleona and her guards and leave Windstone. So those are the two ways I have for like defining the goal of the scene. I have thought about kind of splitting this up into two columns and having two different ones, so one for the writer goal and then one for the character goal, but I have not done this in this one. Next column is the conflict. Each scene needs to have conflict. If you don't understand like scene structure, I recommend doing some more research on that. I don't currently have a video on scene structure just yet, but that's probably something I will be doing soon. But just as a recap, each scene needs to have like a goal, a conflict, and a resolution. So this is the conflict of each scene. So for the opening scene of my book, the conflict is Maxis took out their next hit, so their plan is ruined. That's the problem, that's what they kind of have to solve and get through. Here's another example of a different type of conflict. So most people think of like an external conflict, like an actual physical obstacle that happens in the scene, whereas like here I have Orion struggles internally with her past from watching Maxis and Suri. So that's more of an internal conflict. She has to deal with certain feelings and memories and thoughts that come up. It's still a conflict, but it's not necessarily like a physical thing. In this column, I have the resolution. So this is how your characters get out of the scene or solve their problem. Continuing the example for the first opening scene, the resolution is Orion, Luca, and Jens decide to intercept Maxis' next hit to get back at him for taking theirs. Here are some more examples of some resolutions. So here they escape Windstone. Very simple, straightforward. That's what happens. Yours, again, can be as long or as simple as you want. I do recommend keeping it relatively simple, though. Here's another one. They agree to meet with Jens' contact in Pret Ma to get the cloaking device. I keep mine simple, usually about 1 or 2 sentences, just so I have like a general overview idea of what's happening in this scene without adding too much information. And then these last 3 columns, as you can see, I didn't really fill them out that much. And that's kind of because a lot of things were changing as I wrote this. Things are constantly like dynamically changing as I write, not even just through like multiple drafts, but even in one draft, things were changing so much. So I had a goal word count, which wasn't really like a goal, but more of like an estimated word count of how long or how big I thought the scene would be. So for this opening scene, my estimated word count was about 1,000 words. Then I had the actual word count. When I sat down and wrote it, it was actually 1,191 words. And then I was going to keep like a running total, but again, a lot of things were changing and I couldn't really I was like meshing scenes together or like eliminating some just as I went. So it didn't match up completely. And so I honestly stopped doing the actual word count and the running total. Here I do have like chapter word counts on another spreadsheet, but I did not put them in this just because it was hard to match up with the scene. But you can see here I had estimated word counts for like different scenes. So here 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, 3,000, 3,000 for longer scenes. This one was only like 800 because it was like a really short scene. So really just kind of an estimated, like it wasn't really based on much except like what I thought maybe it would be. You can tweak this as much as you'd like. I'm probably going to end up taking it out in my next one because I am kind of planning on making a new scene outline, either making a completely new one or tweaking this one a lot because as I said, things were changing. So say for example, like here, I don't really know if this is real in my book, but say like I planned having 8 and 9 in 2 different chapters, but then I added them together while I was writing. So it doesn't really match up all the way to have like individual scenes and individual word counts, so I might just take that out on the next one. But yeah, that's about it for my scene outline. Those are just kind of a general overview of how I do it and how I organize my scenes. I find it really handy for having like the goal and the conflict and the resolution, and just instead of just having like a summary for each scene, but actually writing out like the individual things that happen. It helps to keep me on track and I really like it and I hope it works for you guys. So that is the basic overview of my scene outline and how I organize my scenes. I recommend playing around with different ideas and ways you want to set it up. This is just what happens to work for me. I hope it kind of helped a bit with seeing how I set things up and how I organize things. I always find it very helpful when I can kind of like see what other people are doing instead of just like hearing them talk about it. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm probably going to be making some more videos around like how to structure scenes or how to structure your plot and stuff like that, just to kind of give a little extra help. Also, as a side note that I want to mention, because I kind of struggled with this, was don't plan it so much that you're not going to change it and you just stick to it so like rigidly. Things are going to change. It's okay to change it. You don't have to, I don't want you to like get so caught up in following your outline that, you know, you sacrifice like a better idea in favor of what's already on your outline. Things are always changing, things are so very dynamic, and so you should always keep that in mind when you're planning something like this. So I think that's about it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed and that I gave you a little bit of help or insight to how I do things. I love you all so very much wherever you are. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you guys in my next video.